and good evening wherever you are in the world. I'm Ingram Jones, and tonight we've got something a little special. Always breaking the boundaries here at Bayloric TV, and I know that this is a boxing channel, but we're making a bit of history tonight. We are talking to an MMA fighter. And not just any MMA fighter. We're talking to an MMA fighter who is also a champion of the world. We have Lloyd Carter. Lloyd, how are you?
I'm doing good tonight. How are yourself?
I'm great. Thank you so much for talking to Bayloric TV.
Man, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure and it's my honor to be on your show right now.
Okay, so let's talk about. People want to say, well, okay, who's Lloyd Carter? So tell us who you are.
Well, I'm just an average guy that just liked to fight, that loved to fight when I was little, and then I found out to be a way to release anger and stuff because I was so little. Everybody picked on me, so
Right,
I turned that anger and that aggression into something positive as I got older,
right.
and I found wrestling in the seventh grade, and once I found wrestling in the seventh grade, it kind of changed my life, and it put me on a path to where that led me to where I am right now. So it's pretty awesome.
Right, now there's lots of for me. There's lots of I'm gonna come from the absolute point of ignorance because you know wrestling. When you say wrestling,
Hmm.
there's two probably misconceptions I get about wrestling. I get
Right.
wrestling one where I see people rolling around in the mud, that wrestling, and then I see then I get the other wrestling which is grown men running around in tights and their fighting is not real but fake. Please educate me because I see a lot of guys doing a lot of fantastic moves. I mean, I even admit once or twice I have, you know, tried to attempt to do clotheslines and stuff like that with friends playing around. But how does that work in terms of wrestling for real? Because I'm in that sort of a world at the moment.
Actually, it's a third wrestling, the one that you forgot, and
Okay,
that's on,
what's the third wrestling?
and that's on the mat, on the wrestling mat.
Okay,
You forgot that one. I get the mud wrestling, I get the WWE wrestling, but the collegiate level wrestling and the high school wrestling,
yeah.
and that wrestling, that's what makes you a man right there.
So how do you get into? I mean, what? I mean, like people grow up and say, well, I want to be like my dad, or I want to grow up and be the best heavyweight in the world, or be a wrestler. That's a different sort of route. I mean, clearly, if you were getting bullied at school, you'd probably want to fight and be a boxer.
Right, but I grew up in Minnesota. I lived in Gary, Indiana,
Right,
until I was like 5 or 6, and then I moved to Minnesota.
right.
And when I moved to Minnesota, it was eye opening. And then my seventh grade year in Minnesota, I was like getting into trouble a lot in school. I was being a little knucklehead and not doing what I was supposed to. And then the winter time came and the coach was like, "You, how much you weigh?" I was like, "I don't know, like 90 some pounds, 100 pounds, even if that." And it's like, "You should try out for the wrestling team." I was like, "Wrestling, like I see on TV." He was like, "Nah, not that, but it's wrestling. You'll like it." And I was like, "Okay, all right." So I went down and I was like, "Okay, what we supposed to do?" And then I'm just sitting there and I'm looking. I'm like, "Oh wow, this is cool. Like this is amazing. It's like this is something I can do." And I was like, before I had wrestling, before I started wrestling in seventh grade, my grades was terrible. I was just the class clown. I didn't take nothing serious. And then once wrestling season came around, and it was like, well, if you wrestle, because I practiced, I did good. I beat a kid that was like supposed to be better than me at this, and I just beat him because I was just naturally aggressive and just more tougher than him. And it was like, well, if you do this, we'll make sure you go from. I went from literally getting straight F's to getting A's and B's. It was just like that's what wrestling did for
Hmm.
me. And then after that, it's like I was like, oh man, I love it. I can't wait to next year to do it. And then I ended up moving back to Indiana. And then once I moved back to Indiana, we moved back to be with my grandparents because they were getting up in age. And then the middle school that I went to down in here, it didn't have a middle school wrestling team. So I was like, oh my god, I don't have wrestling. Like I'm not used to this. It's like I didn't know about any club wrestling around here because I really wasn't too familiar with it. And everybody that I knew before I left, they were all into like football and all that. But I really didn't grow that much until my freshman year I sprouted up a little bit. Then my senior year I really like sprouted up. So it was very fun times with high school wrestling. I tried to go to the collegiate level of it, but it just wasn't me after high school. I had a decent high school career. I wasn't a super stud, but I held my own. I beat some pretty good people in my time in high school wrestling. And then after high school wrestling, it was pretty much a no brainer to get into MMA and stuff like that. So
But you see, MMA. What was it that made you go down the MMA route and not say, you know what, go into boxing?
cause I tried out boxing
Hmm.
and I tried out boxing in the eighth grade, and I was like, okay, I like it, but I wasn't passionate about it.
Right.
I didn't know how much those two intertwined until I started MMA, and then I was like, oh damn, if I would have kept up with the boxing, mixed my boxing with my wrestling that I got, it'd be like, oh okay, and then it would have been an even better, like transformation from just high school wrestling to MMA and jujitsu and all that.
Okay, so explain. I mean, I'm ignorant to like the difference between, and people probably listening to me saying, "Don't ask it." The difference between MMA and UFC. First, explain that to me because I don't understand how that works first.
Okay, well, see, the basic, because you know what, it's pretty funny because I wouldn't say ignorance, is just say a lack of knowledge because a lot of people think that you train UFC. No, you don't train UFC. The best way I describe it and I tell people is like LeBron James don't train NBA. You know what I'm saying? It's
Right,
like the UFC is the big league. You got Bellator, World Series of Fighting, and then you got the UFC.
right.
Like I tell everybody, you train and you compete to make it to the UFC. You train MMA. Like that's what you're supposed to train.
Right. Okay.
Because if you're in MMA and you're not training MMA, then you obviously are in the wrong sport. I train MMA, but I want to fight to get to the UFC. So that's what you could possibly tell somebody that's, as you say, ignorant to the terminology of the wording.
Okay. The other thing is you've got these different events,
Uh
and I'm
huh.
like, I'm like, let's like for me, I go back to the wrestling because like in wrestling terms, I know there's SummerSlam, WrestleMania, this, that, the other. There's different events around
Right.
the wrestling year. Like in boxing, I don't think we've got that. We've just got fights, and well, you may have a super fight that comes around like Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, which is a pay per view event, but you don't get like I don't know. You just the name of the fights may just be like Brawl in the Hall or Finally or Last Man Standing, something like that. But it's the name of a card, but not really an event. Whereas it seems in wrestling you've got these different events. Can you explain that out to me as well?
Well, my take about that is they got it. With wrestling, they got the marketing. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? With boxing, see, with WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and all that, it's underneath one brand, WWE.
Right.
Now with boxing, I wish it could if you got the WBC, the WBU, the IBF, you got too
Yeah.
many different organizations.
Yeah.
Too many different organizations, too many different champions. In WWE, you got one champion, one this champion, one that champion. That's about it. It's all about the marketing. If they had the marketing that the WWE has, then it would be a little bit better if everybody was to work together.
Right. So if that were to happen in
Kind of
boxing,
like, kind of like what the UFC did, right? They
yeah,
couldn't get along with him, so what they do? They bought him out. Money talks.
absolutely, absolutely. So, like, so show me your belt because I've never seen one of those belts before.
Okay, this is the Coliseum Combat 135-pound championship belt.
Right.
My good buddy Mark Slater, Coliseum Combat. He he uh he he found it in me to become his champion. You know, he said, "Hey, beat these guys up, we get a belt." The first fight I took for him, he said, "Beat him up, work your way to a title fight. I make you know, I want you to be my champion."
Now that belt you've got there, no
Right,
disrespect, but if you look at the WBC belt or you look at the
right,
British title belt, for example, I mean
right,
that's like worth. I think it's worth either 250,000 to half a million, like British pounds, which may work out to about just under a million US dollars. How does that
right.
equate? I mean, like the WBC belt, which you've seen, the green belt, which everyone talks about in boxing, compared to a belt like that. Explain to me the
It's kind of like it's kind of like it's basically this belt is way less expensive than the what you call 'em. But I'm not I really don't care for this
right.
because I know I'm already this.
You're already a champion, right?
So this just solidifies.
Solidifies it, puts the icing on the cake, gives you the
It
tick,
just puts icing on the cake.
right?
I you know, long as you know that you're a champion, I don't give a shit what the belt is made of. I
Right.
earned it. I put my blood, sweat, and tears into this,
Wow.
and this is just a culmination of the beginning. You know, the end result is the UFC belt. I know the all the boxing belt. They're not gonna look as glamorous as the
Right.
MMA belts ain't gonna. Even the UFC belt ain't gonna look as glamorous as some of those other belts that I haven't seen.
Right.
Which, if you think about it, you put $1 million into a belt.
Mhm.
You paying the fighters like $1 million,
Mhm.
but you end up with boring fights sometimes.
Mhm.
Hell, Mayday, Pac-Man versus Mayweather, that shit was boring. That shit went exactly how I thought it was gonna go. If Pacquiao didn't land a big shot in the first through third round to get him out of there, that Mayweather was gonna outpoint him and outbeat him just like he do everybody else. And I'm not knocking Mayweather at all. 48 have tried, 48 have failed. Gotta take my hat off to him on that. He doing what he's supposed to do, get that W. Whether it's boring or it's not. At the end of the day, he got that W and he got that check.
That's all
So,
that matters.
hey, got that check and got that W. That's exactly it. That's all that matters.
So let's talk a second. I mean, okay, so we're talking about you want to eventually become UFC champion. Um, in boxing, it's very much a fashion to get market fighters with unbeaten records. Is it easy to do that in wrestling or in MMA or UFC? Does that matter as much?
I mean, yeah, but no. When you think about it, okay, you're undefeated. When I look at a fighter and they say, okay, he's undefeated, I say, okay, who has he fought? You look at the records and some of these records that these people is fighting, hell, they ain't fought nobody. You know what I'm saying? They ain't fought nobody. Or a dude could be 20-0, but if you 20-0 and beat nothing but fucking bums, how can you say you the man? Like, and then like not only that, like you gotta look at some of these fighters' records. If he's 20-0, he's probably fighting a guy that's like maybe 5-11, fucking 8-13 or some shit like that. Some of their records be padded. You know what I'm saying? They want to take the easy route. You get the undefeated record, even in MMA. I find this out a lot in MMA, not really so much as boxing, because I'm not. I would love to box. I would actually love to have a boxing match.
Yeah.
because I'm nice. I'm nice with my hands, so I like striking. So I would love to have a boxing match. But when you look at some of these MMA fighters, I'd be like, okay, they say he undefeated. Okay, 10-0. Everybody he fought got like a above a below 500 record. I'm like, oh, let me see how you gonna do against this guy that's fought nothing but tough, legit people. Get his ass whooped. Like that's what usually happens. And even in boxing, you can see that in boxing too. You can get padded oh so much, and then when you find somebody that then when they say, oh, you gonna get this amount of money for fighting this dude. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm undefeated. I can do that. But then you run into that dude that's really about that life. That's
Legit.
really that killer. You know what I'm saying? Some of them got that killer instinct in them, and then some of them don't. Then you run into that killer, and then it's like, oh shit, like I'm in for a fight. Like this is not going. Kind of like the Broner versus Porter fight,
You couldn't wait, could you? You
or
couldn't
or
wait.
yeah, and last time he did that dumb shit, he got knocked the fuck out with my Dana. You know what I'm saying? And then Floyd, Big Brother, came to the rescue and touched him up, but he got touched up in that fight too. And then he got touched up a little bit because he the only person that ever gave him a rematch. You know what I'm saying? He- but he knew he could beat Madonna again. So he's like, I get this money. It's just easy. Okay.
So, what are your thoughts on the whole Broner persona? Does that carry over to the MMA? Does it carry over to UFC? Do they see that? What do the guys think about guys like that?
Honestly, he kind of give stereotypical. You know what I'm saying? Typical. He kind of playing like he. How can I say? Oh fuck it! I'm just gonna come out and say it. He making us look bad. Okay.
Well, you're saying it's what it is, isn't it?
He making us look bad. Okay.
We've got
Not
enough
only
hassle as it is out there as it is. We don't need. That's what it
yeah,
is.
like he making us look bad. You know what I'm saying? Like only thing we think about is cars and money and all. Dude, for the love of the sport, bro. Like he's got a great mentor. Floyd don't drink.
Yeah,
Floyd don't do none of that. Floyd is about money,
yeah,
and he know that if you train, I don't get it. You train with Floyd motherfucking Mayweather every camp. You in there. You sparring with him. You in the doghouse with him, as they say.
yeah.
How can you not pick up on any of his technical skills? Okay, you got this. You got that. But after this, you ain't got shit with that little sloppy ass hook. Like, other than that, he making us look bad. He's making himself look bad as a boxer.
Yeah.
Now you want to be a entertainer, a performer. I get that, but he's forgetting about his God given talent about his boxing.
Well, what do you think about his
It's-
rap?
you said what?
What do you think about his rap?
His what?
Rap.
Oh, he rap?
What about the whole thing about him putting toilet paper using dollars as toilet paper?
He gonna have he gonna get a badass paper cut on his ass. Oh, he keep doing that. You
So,
can wipe your ass with money until
so,
you cut yourself.
so I mean,
Then
so
you gotta explain that. Hey,
when you
I
guys
cut my
see
ass.
when you guys see people like Broner behaving the way that they do you think that gives boxing a bad image, or do you think it's just they just single out and say that's just Broner?
No, he giving himself a bad image.
Right.
No, boxing, MMA, it ain't never gonna go away. Fighters change all the time. He giving his camp and his self a bad name. Like I get you all about your image and everything, but what type of image are you trying to portray? Like you portraying you party, you do all this, but when it come down to you getting in the ring, you need to fight. I think that's a conversation that Floyd need to sit down and talk to him. Be like, look, you either gonna box or you gonna do all this extra shit. What do we know Mayweather for? Boxing. Mayweather fight 2 times a year, May, September. That's never gonna change until he retires. Between May and September, between May and September, he in this camp doing the marketing and everything. Because it take what like 6 months or 3 months to promote an actual Mayweather fight, so he can go like all over around where he got to go and everything. Only way Mayweather would take a without a seen Mayweather take a break from anything is that one year he did WrestleMania, and I think when he did WrestleMania, $25 million, one appearance. Fuck yeah, why not? I would have did that shit too. So it's like Broner, you need to if he gon' like I say, if he gon' rap, you rap, dude. Hang the gloves up, but don't intertwine both because you don't have the discipline as Roy Jones. When Roy Jones did it, we knew what type of fighter we was gonna get. We know he was gonna bust your ass, but also he was busting his ass in the gym and training.
And producing the goods.
Yeah. Now let's think about it. If Broner would have won that fight, don't nobody we wouldn't even be making fun of him. But we making fun of him because he did the same thing when he lost to Maidana. And then the dude that who's the last dude that he fought before Porter? Was it?
He fought. I don't know. He fought before that. I don't. Some bumps. Some guy.
Yeah, it was a bounce back fight.
Yeah.
So you got your ass whooped, and they gave you a soft fight.
Yeah.
And then if he would have boxed,
John Molina.
John Molina. Yeah, he was faster than him. I knew he was gonna win that fight. Like, it's just some boxing fights you can watch and you can be like, oh, he's gonna win. Like the fucking Andre Ward versus Paul Smith. I knew Paul Smith was gonna get that ass worked. Like you quit and fucking training. Like you couldn't even cut the last fucking 3 or 4 pounds. Like you quit, dude. Like come on, like you're facing the pound for pound one of the best in the world. And Ward proved to be the best because he beat Dawson.
Yeah.
And then he beat Franch, and damn, who else? He won the Super Six.
He won the Super Six, yeah.
So he beat Franch, he beat Arthur Abraham, I do believe.
Yep. And he beat Kessler.
And he beat Kessler. So
and Sakia Bika as well.
Yep. He beat a list of who's who.
Yep, he did.
And I knew that Smith wasn't gonna stand a chance, but that's the only thing I don't like about boxing is that you got mandatory fights that you gotta take. I wish they had that in MMA, but it really don't work out like that way sometimes.
In boxing, we have something called trolls, where we have people going on YouTube channels and saying crap about one fighter or another fighter. They love to talk about unbeaten fighters,
right?
And boost them up. And then when they get destroyed, they just say, "Oh, he's a bum. He's crap." Does that work in MMA as well, or?
Yeah, I mean, you always gonna have haters, bro.
Really?
Haters gonna hate. It's easy to talk about, oh, he's a bum, he's this, he's that. But if you just sitting on the internet trolling everybody, who's really the bum? Because you watching everybody else live their life. When you sitting there critiquing somebody from the comfort of your home. It's okay to talk shit to somebody.
Yeah.
But when like Wale, I don't know if you know who Wale. You know who Wale is?
No, who is he?
He's a rapper.
Right, okay.
So he was being trolled. So he was at a WWE event. He was being trolled. And then he just so happened to be in the same place as the dude that was trolling him.
Ah.
So he walked up to him and was like, what you got to say now? You got shit to say now, huh? Like, it's easy to critique somebody when you're not doing shit yourself,
So, what about yourself? Have you had anyone troll you and say anything about you?
No. Well, actually, it's a funny story. I actually had an encounter with somebody that Queen Mo. I had an encounter with Queen Mo.
Okay.
His real name's not Queen Mo, it's
Right.
King Mo.
Yeah. Okay.
Muhammad Lawal. He's a Bellator fighter. He's fighting like 185.
Right.
And I asked him a simple question on Twitter, like, why you and Rampage Jackson don't get along?
Right.
And then he took it and he started to go like in on me. And I was like, whoa, I just asked your ass a question. Like, I'm not scared of you, dude. Like I'll ask you the same shit in your face. And it was pretty cool. I was like, and then I showed all my friends. I'm like, I got into it with Queen Mo on Twitter. It was actually pretty fun. It was hilarious. But no, most people don't talk shit to me because they know I come to their face. Like if you gotta think about it. If like the way I get ready for a fight, I do see like if somebody talking shit. Now, if you respectable, I know it's a competition.
Yeah.
Two men, egos and all that. I got a little ego, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say I don't. Anybody that fights got an ego.
Yeah.
It's like, but my whole problem is when you start talking about shit you ain't capable of. Like, if I'm going to get some guy and he's a wrestler or a jiu-jitsu guy and he say, "Oh, I'm gonna stand up with him and knock him the fuck out," I'm like, "Oh, I check your record. All your wins has been by submission or decision. You ain't never knocked nobody out. And all of a sudden you gonna knock me out? Like now I take that shit personal. Like you can check my stats. I done knocked plenty of people out. I done got a couple of submissions here and there. So I'm pretty much all around. So and long as it's like I can take trash talk. You say something to me, I'm gonna say something back to you. As a man, I expect you to say something back to me.
Yeah.
But now when they go from trash talk to disrespect, then it's like it's a different level of ass whooping. That's what I told my fiance. It's like it's a different level of ass whooping that I'm gonna give this guy. Now if it's just straight talk, like, I'm gonna beat you, you gonna beat me, okay, fine. But now when you start getting disrespectful, calling me names and all this type of shit, now it goes from me wanting to win the fight to me wanting to hurt you. See, that's the killer. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
There's a
It's a
difference.
difference. It's between I want to win and then I just want to hurt you. Like people that you just want to hurt, you don't care if you want to win. I just want to hurt them.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
want to hurt them, and
Hate
win
them
is a
first,
plus.
and win is a plus. First,
And
hurt him
win is a
first,
plus.
and win is a plus.
And win is a
So,
plus.
so you're talking from experience here.
Yes, I am. I'm
So give
talking.
us an example of somebody who went over the line.
The last guy I fought that really went over the line, I knocked him the fuck out in the first round and took his belt. It's upstairs. It's my other belt that's upstairs. I
Right.
knocked him the fuck out and I took his belt.
Why? What happened?
We had a fight. He was the champion,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, "Yeah, he's a nobody. I never heard of him before, so this is gonna be an easy win. You're gonna knock me out. He's gonna knock me out in the second round." And I read that shit, and I was like, "Me? Like knock me out? Like you ain't knock. Like I said before, you ain't never knocked nobody out. All of a sudden, you telling people when you gonna stop me, and that I'm not in your league, I'm not on your level. Okay. What Roy say? First punch. He say rematch. One punch. I need my crown. You went down. I need my crown. First real combination I threw in the first round, knocked his head clean off, and took his belt and took his money and went back to the crib.
So what did he say to you after? What did he say to you after that?
He was like, "I'm sorry, bro. I was asleep on you. I underestimated you." I was like, "Hey, man, when you sleep on somebody, you go to sleep." And I just walked and I just left it alone. When you sleep on me, you'll go to sleep. I'll put you to sleep.
So okay, let's talk about. I mean, obviously, I know that you joined my Twitter page and you're my first ever MMA fighter. Which again, Lloyd, I'm so grateful that I'm not just got an MMA fighter, but I've got an MMA fighter with personality. Let's talk about drug testing. How's that in MMA and yeah, how does that work?
Well, at MMA, on a local pro level of MMA, the only thing they really drug test for is actual drugs.
Right.
Now, local MMA is just like how y'all got boxing out there.
Yeah.
But before you get to the next level, like WBC,
Yeah.
WBU,
Yeah.
You gotta do like dark fights or club fights or
Yeah.
stuff.
Domestic fights.
Yeah, domestic fights. Like they don't drug test for domestic fights. You know, don't nobody gives a shit about a domestic fight. You know, but when you get to the next level and you start making more money, then that's when the drug testing comes in. I myself has never took any performance enhancing drugs, nor do I see a reason to take performance enhancing drugs. Like if other people do it, hey, that's on them. It's gonna catch you in the long run. You know,
But
like I done seen a guy win a belt and lose because he tested positive for drugs.
damn.
Not performance enhancing drugs, but like marijuana.
Yeah.
He tested positive for marijuana. It's like, okay, I get it, you do that, but you at the end of the day, MMA is a sport and it's a profession, and we gotta treat it as that, and we gotta treat it just like you treat NBA, football, basketball. You gotta have something that you should be proud of. Like when the UFC fighters, they should be proud that they're in the UFC, and you know you shouldn't do anything to will disgrace yourself nor the league that you're in, you know. And I think by taking performance enhancing drugs, you cheating yourself, and not only are you cheating yourself, but you cheating your fans, and you cheating everybody that's for you, you know.
Okay. As you know, I'm based in Ireland at the moment. We talked about that a
Right.
little earlier before the show began. So you spoke and gave me a little preview as to a certain Irishman challenging for a world title.
Yes, I did. I did.
Could you talk to me a little bit more about it?
Conor McGregor.
Yes.
He's pretty much became, my opinion, an overnight sensation, and his real test is gonna come against Jose Aldo. So as much as he been running his mouth and talking shit and taking the man's belt at the press conference, I hope he's been putting the same emphasis on training, because Jose Aldo's coming to kill him.
How good is Jose Aldo? I don't know this Jose Aldo guy, so I've never seen. I don't watch neither guy fight. I've just heard in Ireland that this guy O'Connor's a hard nut. He's a bad man. He's a this. He's a that. I've heard all the stories about him.
He is, he may be to them a Irish folklore myth rather,
Yes,
but Jose Aldo is pound for pound one of the best fighters in the world.
no doubt.
No doubt, hands down. He's one of, and it's crazy because I don't give too many people compliments. Because I think giving people compliments sometimes you feel like you riding their nuts.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But respect is respect. Some people you just gotta be like, hey, that's a bad man right there. Jose is a bad man. Conor McGregor wants to be the bad man. But just like anywhere else, if you want to beat a man, you got to beat the man.
So what does Connor bring to the fight? That what are the attributes he brings to the fight? If you're previewing the fight, what is the attributes that Conor McGregor brings?
He definitely got power. He's got a little length. He's a little bit taller than Jose, I do believe. And you know, he bring with all a lot of the Irish men always, Irish people always bring. He's got a lot of heart, and he's got a lot of. He's very talented. Don't get me wrong. He's talented, and he's got a lot of heart. But talent and heart, it only can go so far without skill.
Right.
And Aldo has skill and he's got technique and he's also got heart too. And Jose Aldo he hits like a brick. The best way I can kind of describe the fight in a way that, like, a way you can see it, right? It's kind of like Broner versus Mayweather.
Shit.
Who will win that fight?
Mayweather, hands down, no doubt, no questions asked.
And that's the best way to describe the Jose Aldo versus Conor McGregor fight. It's like little brother, loudmouth, loudmouth, arrogant dude trying to dethrone the king.
Is there any way it can cause a sensation?
Who?
McGregor. Or Connor, sorry. Connor. Oh, Connor.
Conor
Yeah,
McGregor.
yeah.
Only way. Okay, can you repeat that question
Can he
again?
cause the upset? Is there possible? Is there any possibility of him causing the
You know,
upset?
MMA is just like boxing. One punch could change the whole thing. Do I see him winning? No. I don't see him. Only way I see him winning if he catch him with a wild punch. That's about catch him with a punch. I ain't gonna say a lucky punch because I don't believe in fighters, any type of fighters throwing a lucky punch. You throw it,
You mean it?
you mean it. Like you throw it, and if it lands, then that's what you meant to do. There's no luck about it. Once you close this and you go like that, you meant to throw the punch. So it's not. It's all about where he lands. Anybody's got a punch or chance, but I'm betting my money on the Brazilian.
Okay. Another person that's talked about, a female that's talked about, and I'm sure you've seen it 1,001 times, Ronda Rousey. And I'm sort of sick to death of seeing Ronda Rousey. And I was always told that whenever the media pumps somebody up, be careful. And then I looked into this further, and there's another person called Cyborg that is
Right,
around.
right.
Can you preview Cyborg versus Rousey?
Cyborg versus Rousey is pretty simple. She's been on the tear. She's been beating a lot of people, and but she hasn't. That's just a matchup everybody wants to see. It's kind of like how everybody wanted to see Pacquiao versus Mayweather.
Right.
You know, I think that fight is also equivalent to a Pacquiao versus Mayweather, but this time Pacquiao wins. Meaning this time Ronda Rousey's going to taste defeat for the first time in her career. She's going to lose if she take that fight. It's the reason why this fight hasn't happened, and that's because she don't want to lose.
But there's a thing, she's the baddest woman on the planet, blah de blah de blah de blah de blah. That's not true then.
Well, I mean, this is kind of crazy because everybody's like, everybody, once a new sensation come along, everybody forget about who was there before her. Who was there? What female ruled the world before there was a Ronda Rousey?
Tell me.
Layla Ali.
Woo. Yeah, of course.
So every so often you gonna get a woman that especially if she's doing something different than everybody else is doing, which she's very Ronda Rousey's a judo expert. So judo is a little bit different mixture of women's MMA when you mix it in with women's MMA. Judo is a very tough sport. And I give her that. Being mentally, you got to be mentally tough to do judo. Just letting people just throw your ass around all day, you got to be tough for that, and she is. But I don't think she's never been hit by somebody like Cyborg. They call Cyborg for a reason. I don't know if you know what Cyborg look like, but picture a fucking Cyborg, and that's what she look like.
Seriously.
You know, she's Brazilian, and she hits like a brick, a ton of bricks. And they say she may have been on performance enhancing drugs. I don't think so. I think that they always think that about the Brazilian fighters. Most of them take steroids, but most of them just had a rough upbringing, and you got to be mentally tough, and you gotta be strong. Some of them are strong.
Another fight. Again, I'm not a huge. I can't tell you I'm a huge fan because I haven't really got into it and understanding it. But you're giving me more insight tonight. Um, Ken Shamrock versus
Kimbo Slice.
Kimbo Slice.
That shit. It was terrible. You
Was
know.
it?
Yes, Bellator. I think it may have lost some ratings, and I've fought for Bellator before. I think they just chasing ratings now. They trying to stay afloat. I think it's only a matter of time before UFC buy them out too. So it's the fights that they having that they got scheduled for upcoming events. They need to make more sense. They need to actually be like appealing. Kimbo Slice versus Ken Shamrock. Ken Shamrock's 51 years old. I already knew who was gonna win that fight. I knew how that fight was gonna end. It's just like the Pacquiao versus Mayweather fight. We all knew how that shit was gonna end. Some fights, like when you watch boxing, you already know who's gonna win before you even, before the fight even start. It's pretty much, if it's a one-sided fight in boxing, Just sometimes in MMA it could be one-sided, and also MMA the underdog wins sometimes, because it's all about that one punch.
So I know that Sean Porter and Adrian
Adrian,
Broner are going to fight again. That's what Mayweather wants to make happen in September.
you said what?
They want to try and make that fight happen again. Porter Broner 2, September.
On the undercard of the Floyd Mayweather card?
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
Who the hell wants to watch that?
It makes sense to Broner, but then again, if you gonna do that, you might as well do the rematch with Madonna.
Yeah, let's watch that again.
I think you'll make more money, but off of that shit, like you gotta avenge the first loss before you try to avenge your second loss. But honestly, I really think he just need to sit. Somebody need to sit down and talk to that man. Like,
how
look,
about the idea? I suggested that he should go. He should be taken out to Africa and left out there for about a year. Retire from the sport, taken out to Africa for a year, or taken up into the with the Shaolin monks up in the mountains, and just be taken away to find himself and center himself and be conscious about who he is rather than trying to be somebody else. Sack all his team and start again.
well, you know what? Honestly, this is what I really think he need to do.
Mm-hmm.
He need to just give up rapping completely and get his ass back in the gym. And somewhere along the line, he do need to find Jesus and ask Jesus to give him his boxing ability back, and ask Jesus to forgive him for making that horrible ass rap music, and maybe just maybe everything will be okay. No, Broner need to sit down and have a conversation with Broner and be like,
But they
what's
say
your identity?
Jesus saves all, but do you think he can actually save Broner?
Not his rap career. His boxing career, yes. He can save his boxing career, but his rap career, even the devil, like, what the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? Like, even the devil's like, you're rapping. God gave you ability to box, and you're fucking rapping. Like, I don't understand that either. Like, I get like what he trying to do. He trying to make himself a brand.
Yeah.
When your nickname is about billions, right? AB, about billions, but you're giving less than $1 million performance. What the? I don't get that. Like, you're not about billions anymore. You know what I'm saying? You're about to be about thousands in a minute. You know what I'm saying? You're about to be about thousands in a minute.
Are you disappointed at Broner's performances, or where do you stand?
No, not at all. I mean, what expectations did you have of the fight? What was your expectations of the fight?
Well, I was expecting to see Broner take advantage of Porter coming down in weight to 144 pounds, because he's never fought at 140 pounds since an amateur. So I thought, you know what, Broner's gonna, in the second half of the fight, take advantage of Porter, who'd been weight drained. But he didn't work the body. He didn't put Porter in the under sustained pressure, and I just stood back and let Porter do all the crap he wanted to do. So
that's what he trained for. He did exactly what he trained for.
Yeah, Porter did what he had to do, but he didn't do shit.
No, I'm talking about Broner. Broner did exactly what he trained for. Shit. You know what I'm saying? If that's what he did the whole fight, something happened in the camp that somebody just decided to let him do that in the whole fight. Hell, I don't see why nobody. I don't. You know what? If I was Floyd halfway through the fight, I'd be like, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? This is what I told people when I was watching the fight. I was like, but honestly, I thought, Porter was gonna knock him out or knock him down, because I'm like, he do hit. When he hit Porter, he did hit him, but he didn't step into nothing flush until the 11th round when he caught him with the left hook. And he should have been throwing the whole fucking fight, but instead he wanted to do the zombie dance and hold on. It's like he didn't do anything but grab and hold on. He did exactly how I expected him to fight, and that's beat Broner. Some things you just can't change about people. And at this point in his career, he already got in his mind that he's Mayweather and that he's on Mayweather's level, and that this is what he can do. You know what I'm saying?
Finally, I just finished talking to GGG's trainer, Abel Sanchez. I know we spoke off air about a GGG Mayweather fight, but what's your thoughts if that fight were to happen?
That fight would be out. I didn't pay for the Mayweather fight. I went to a friend's house to watch it. But if that fight was to happen, that would probably be the only fight, a boxing fight, that I would actually buy, and I would sit in my living room and I would actually record it so I can watch it over again, so I can see it, see it, really see it, turn it off and watch it with the volume, mute the TV and then really watch it. Because I think that Golovkin possesses the technical skills and the defensive skills that he has, and he got the big punching power. Floyd is fast, and Floyd's got good defense, but now that's a fight that you can sit back and you be like, damn, that's actually interesting. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know why the Mayweather Pacquiao fight took so long to happen. At this point in Floyd's career, if he's trying to retire undefeated, and he may want to break Rocky Marciano's record, like he said, 49-0,
Mm-hmm.
but get to 50-0 and retire, best boxer or whatever, 50-0. Then I don't think that'd be a good fight for him to take. Styles makes fights, and Golovkin is stronger, and he hits harder, and he's a little bit more technical than everybody that Mayweather has fought. Because think about it, when he fought Shane Mosley, Shane was out of his prime. When he fought De La Hoya had took a beating. He took beatings most of his career. You know what I'm saying? When the fights that he did lose, he lost bad. When he fought Hopkins, he lost bad. When he fought, uh, when he fought Morales, and when he fought all these tough
Yeah.
fighters, and when he lost bad. When he fought Hatton wasn't the same Hatton anymore. You know what I'm saying? When he fought Canelo was supposed to be the next big thing, and he beat Canelo. And I think Canelo and Triple G is kind of like in the same weight division. I do believe, right?
Just one's light middle, one's middle.
Right, right. So that's about around the same. What
Yeah.
you call it, And then when he fought Cotto, he beat Cotto. He's fought a lot of people, but mostly everybody that kind of like at the lighter stage of his career when he was at the prime of his career.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not knocking him, but I would like to see the Triple G fight, but I think that'd be the one he lose. I knew he wasn't gonna lose to Pacquiao if he didn't get knocked out in the first second round. I knew he wasn't gonna lose that fight. So, but if he fight Triple G, I think that'd be Floyd's first loss.
Wow. Wow. Lloyd, when's your next fight?
Well, I'm in talks right now. It's probably gonna be August or October, or either August, September, or October. So,
Is that gonna be a title defense?
the one in September may be a title defense. The one in August may be for the World Series of Fighting, and then the other one in October. Wait, the one in August is two of them in August. One may be for the World Series of Fighting, and then one may be for Gladiator MMA in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and then the other one may be in Indianapolis, Indiana. So it's like I'm trying to see which one gonna sign on the dotted line, and then go from there. I actually wouldn't mind fighting, traveling, going across the country, across the world to fight either. I don't know. I don't know if it's ever too late to get into boxing because Deontay Wilder he got into boxing kind of late, and Deontay's a beast. He's a beast, and I do think he could be able to beat the Klitschko's because Dante he got retard strength. You know what I'm saying?
So
And
you,
if he
you'd back Deontay to beat the Klitschko's or beat Vladimir Klitschko?
yes, think about it. Last time Klitschko lost was to who?
A puncher, a big
A
puncher.
puncher, right? a big British puncher, I do believe.
Which one are we talking to? Are we talking about the older one, which is
Or
you got Vladimir and Vitali? Vladimir is the champion that's now. Vitali's the one that retired. That's Lennox Lewis that beat Vitali, right?
okay, yeah, Lennox Lewis. Yeah, you're right. Lennox Lewis beat Vitali.
And then you got Vladimir.
Yeah, no, Vladimir, that's the one. I get them confused because hell, they're only fighting Russia anyway. Shit, I can be heavyweight champion of the world, and he only fighting fucking Russia. When's the last
Germany,
time you saw?
Germany, same
When's
place.
the last time you saw a fucking? That I don't even know when the last time the Klitschko's fought. Shit, I didn't even know one of them retired.
They actually fought the last time Klitschko fought. He fought against Brian Jennings in
Brian.
Brian Jennings.
Oh yeah, that's the dude that damn, who did he beat?
Brian Jennings beat Mike Perez.
Yeah, he beat him. Oh, but I knew Jennings was. I knew Jennings wasn't gonna beat him. You need a big somebody that's about not can't be 6'7", obviously. Like somebody that's taller and that's got punching power and that's gonna stand and fight and that's gonna get in the inside and mix it up with the Klitschko's. Everybody know if you stay on the outside of a 6'7" person, shit, you don't get jabbed the fuck up. You know, you don't get jabbed, you don't get hit with the right hand. To beat the Klitschko's is real simple. You gotta get in the inside, work the body. Get in the inside, work the body, and then go to the head. That's what Roy say all the time, body head. You know what I'm saying?
Lloyd, how do people contact you? Like on social
Um,
media?
social media you can follow me on at hold on. I got let me get my correct name so everybody can get it. You can follow me on Facebook as Lloyd Carter. You can follow me on Twitter as the Carter 135 at Twitter. You can also follow me on Instagram as Sins Washed Away on Instagram. And you can also contact me on Skype at the Carter 135.
Lloyd Carter, thank you so much for talking to Bayloric TV. And we look forward to talking to you more often and give us more previews about MMA fights as well.
Hey, anytime you feel free, you got my number, you can call me directly, you can Skype me. You know, I just want to thank you. Like I say, I want to thank you because, as you stated, it's an honor you let me meet your wife, and it's 3 o'clock in the fucking morning in Ireland, and
Now
stayed
4 a.m.
up just
Now
up.
4 a.m.
Well, 4 a.m. You stayed up just to talk to a kid from Gary, Indiana, and I'm truly appreciative of that.
No worries, champ. You keep it up and keep going. You're an inspiration.